Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 3 of the Formula Challenge GPVWC. GPVWC Formula Challenge round here at a rather wet and tricky Shanghai International Circuit. As normal, I am joined by Szymon, Frelik on cameras and Menno, Klont alongside me in the commentary box. Menno, what do you think it's going to be like tonight? Obviously, like I say, it's quite wet out there, quite tricky.
Yeah, it looks to be like the track is soaked, and that will be very interesting for this series, because we didn't have a wet race this season, and it will be a different challenge that they're used to, because of the spray and everything is just a bit different than they used to. And I think it will make some fun but tricky racing today. And also the qualifying session will be interesting to see if we see some changes out of the normal. We already had 2 rounds, and we more or less saw a bit of a pecking order for, like who's fast, who's not that fast. But maybe today with the rain we will see some changes of that. Maybe some people are going for a wet setup, or maybe people think, well, let's go for a semi-dry setup still. So maybe you can see in the qualifying session if something, something of that actually. So yeah, I'm looking forward as always.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll be especially difficult. There's a few things about this round to make it difficult. So, like you say, it is the first wet race of the entire career ladder so far in 2021. So, see, they'll have to deal with that. Also, for this year in Formula Challenge, there's no intermediate tyres, so there's either dry or wet. And at the moment, in the practice session so far, the drivers didn't really know which tyres they wanted to be on with the level of rain we've got, which isn't so much. So a lot of the drivers testing out both sets, seeing what's better. And also, obviously, we're here at Shanghai, which is the first time it's been on the calendar since 2018. So a lot of the drivers here probably wouldn't have driven this track in a GPVWC car. So that'll make it quite tricky for them as well, learning a whole new track and in tricky conditions.
Yeah, that's true. And I saw a lot of people testing both compounds in the practice session. That was because you saw like it was raining, but it was not like raining, well, super like a lot of rain. So you want to know what is the crossover point between the dry tires, because dry tires can work in, well, a little bit of rain, but when is the crossover point to the wet tires, and that's what a lot of people were testing. And will be a very interesting qualifying session for sure.
Exactly, yeah, definitely will be. So we've actually had, at the start of the session right now, there is 0% rain. So the track's obviously still very wet, but stays like this, and obviously it will dry out over the course of the session. So we might see people going to dries by the end, but at the moment it looks like every driver heading out onto those wet tyres. Because, well, yeah, as you can see, it is way too wet for the dries at the moment. Say that actually, as Tommy Koivunen is on the dry tyres and driving off the track straight away on them. So, risking it, but if it works, then obviously he'll be a bit of a hero.
I think that's the whole thing. Do you want to risk it, or do you want to set a banker lap, like a decent first lap, or do you want to risk it right away, hope that you can do a lap on dry tires and that it only starts raining more heavily after a few minutes? So that's, I think, also a bit of the strategy. You need to look into the rain, and maybe it only gets better, the conditions get better, and then the last few minutes of this qualifying session will be key to get the best lap in when the conditions are a bit drier. But yeah, we shall see if that will be the case. It's a very interesting track, even in the rain, because of course we've got the long sector 3 with a very long back straight, and that will be very, very interesting to say the least.
Exactly, yeah, it definitely will be. So actually, just noticing that Kevin Morville as well, the sim racing guys, is on those dry tyres. Maybe he's risking it because, as we saw in Bahrain, sim racing guys still the only team without any points scored yet. So maybe trying to take a big risk and get himself up the order straight away.
Very interesting to see Darius Andre, the championship leader, who was going out as the first guy. So he does not have anybody in front of him starting the lap, and that's actually very good because he will not have spray to look into. So it's interesting if he can actually put a good first lap in. I think smart tactics from him.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we haven't seen much slipstreaming in qualifying in FC so far. The cars don't really give much of a game with it, but in wet conditions and with as long a straight as Shanghai has, and in the wet with no DRS, it might, teams might be looking more to that. But as you say, then you potentially have to deal with a lot of spray in front, which could put you off even more than what you gain. So yeah, maybe Darius just go for the smart tactic, being at the front and just controlling it.
Let's see the fastest first sectors, because I see a lot of people now putting in their first sector times, and I believe it's Ernest Lapins who's now fastest in the first sector with a 30.5. Let's see if he can pull one good lap together. Of course, that's important. Yeah, if it's going to rain only more, then you want to get the lap in as soon as you can. Well, I now see Isaac Morris is going faster in the first sector. It'll also be, yeah, setup-wise, what's interesting. We now wait for the first laps to be completed. I think we shall see what Darius Andre will do. He will, of course, jump to first position, but how good is his time in comparison to all the other guys? We will see that in a minute.
Yeah, obviously it's showing purple because he's first on the track, but his sectors aren't quite as good as, let's say, mainly Ernest and Isaac behind. So 57-1 as the banker.
Yeah.
And here's Ernest Lappins will be the next round to be challenged that. One thing to note as well, so Tommy Koivunen actually pit after his outlap to go onto the wet tyres, but Kevin Morble stayed out on those dries and is struggling on them at the moment, so I don't think it'll be long for him to change as well. Yeah, we see there, Ernest Lappins 6 tenths ahead of anyone now, the first lap, or the first run.
Let's see what Isaac Morris can do. Oh, he timed it to perfection because he now got a lot of yeah, people in front of him. Can he jump to P1? Can he? Yes, he can.
He does, by quite some way.
Oh, that's quite an interesting lap because, yeah, all the sectors were purple, so he looks to be very good, at least at the first lap of the day.
Exactly. Obviously, being wet conditions, you'd expect the times to be a little bit more spread out than what we've seen before. So we've got quite used to very close grids in qualifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, being wet, a bit more tricky for the drivers to get the absolute pace out. So you would expect them to be a tiny bit more spread out. As Mike Quint actually, it's in P3. I think we mentioned last time out that he is a talented driver, but maybe hasn't quite clicked with these cars, or just hasn't been able to get the results. But P3 at the moment, it's very good from him.
Yeah, I think that's very good for him. I think people underestimate how good Mike Quint actually is. He's really talented, but not always shows the talent for several reasons. But the guy has a lot of talent, I think, also in these conditions, and a lot of experience, and I think that shows. And I think he needs a good result, and I think this lap will only boost his confidence because he looks quite good in these conditions.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting as well that obviously you'd expect in wet conditions, drivers might want to just pound out some laps in a row, burn the fuel off and just get comfortable, but Isaac Morris and Ernest Lappin both not improving at the moment on their laps. Ernest Lappin actually comes in pit, so clearly he was only fueled up for one run, but Jake Dennan here go across the line looking decent first two sectors, and he improves up to P4.
He improves to P4, while we had Fabian Root jumping into P3, so also a very good lap for the Team Frelik car. So your top 5 is now Isaac Morris, Ernst Lapins, Fabian Root, Jake Denhan and Mike Quint.
Yep, as Mike Quint here, again improving. He goes up to P2 there, just 1.5 tenths off Isaac Morris. So yeah, it was interesting that you had Mike going for 2 runs there, but Ernest Lappins and Isaac Morris both just fueling up for 1, and just doing it like you'd expect a normal dry qualifying session.
Yeah, very good to see Mike Quint had the fastest third sector of everybody now, so I think that made him gain a lot of time. He's in quite a good position. I believe he's now letting some people pass on their fast laps. For now, it
interesting. So everyone has gone on to the wets now. Kevin Morville and Tommy Koivunen realising it was a bit too wet, but the rain it did spike up a little bit to start the session, but it's now gone back down to just 1%, a little bit of drizzle coming down. So at this rate, with 30 cars going around, it will dry up, but we'll just have to wait and see if it does before the end of the session.
Yeah, I think we will not see the dry compound at this qualifying session, but we shall see. I'm still watching the timing monitor. Still have some faster sector times. I believe I see Mikael Tumala improving on his sectors? Can he improve his position? Not
Nope.
yet.
He enters the pits.
He enters the pits.
Just-
Yeah.
He knew you were talking about him. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the front runners at least just on their outlaps. So setting up for another run.
Yeah. So judging at the qualifying session now, I see some actually well-known names actually quite down the order, Josh. Jack Nichols only 19th at the moment, and Scott Mitchell 24th. That's kind of interesting.
That is. Obviously, Kings Racing are leading the team standings after a great first 2 rounds here, with 2 wins for the team.
Yeah.
So yeah, to see them that far down, maybe they're just not used to the wet conditions here,
Yeah.
or just not liking this track, or
Yeah.
any of those things.
Yeah, maybe not got the right lap out. I think it could be as easy as that. Just that you actually have trained for the rain, but that you just can't get the right lap out. I believe
we're watching Faber here as well. Obviously, he is currently down in 29th. We'll just see where he goes after this lap. Goes up to P4, which is a good lap from him. But unfortunately, after the Bahrain round, he's got himself a 40-place grid penalty after 2 incidents.
Yeah.
So he is P4, which is good. But yeah, he'll be starting at the back no matter what happens today, which was a shame from him, but maybe he can set himself up for a good start for race 2 and try and get some points there.
Yeah, I fully agree. But I believe Isaac Morris is on another flyer, and he already is the fastest man on track, the current guy that has the pole position. But I believe he put in another fastest first sector.
He did. I think he got held up in the middle sector here by this downforce car, but look, that's worked very well for him down this back straight.
Yeah.
But again, we'll have to see whether that evens itself out over the course of a lap.
See if he can improve. Also, Angela Pins is on a flyer, and he put in the fastest second sector time. So let's see what he can do.
Yeah, obviously, even if it doesn't get to dries, the track will be drying out over the course of the session. And Isaac does improve there by about 3/10, so good stuff from him. Ernest Lappin's now around in the final corner. Let's see if he can challenge Isaac for pole at the moment. And he does. He takes it by just over a 10th, so good stuff there from him.
Over a 10th, and let's see. I think he gained it all in the second sector. The second sector was 3/10 quicker than Isaac Morris. That could potentially be also something with wing related. So our top 5, well, I believe Guillaume Mas now jumped into P3. Our top 5 now is Ernst Lapins on first position, with Isaac Morris in second, Guillaume Mas in third, Mike Quint in fourth, and Adrian Faber in fifth position.
Yeah, so some people there maybe you'd expect. Yeah, a couple of prize ones there with Mike, and you've got to say Guillaume Mas. Obviously, it's been a pretty good start from the to the season for him and for Team Frelik, but P3 at the moment, they'll be very happy with that. With his teammate as well in P6, Fabian Ruth. So yeah, good stuff from Team Frelik at the moment.
Well, I don't see, not yet. I see no improvement from the Kings Racing drivers, and it now gets a bit more tight because will they start from that far down the order, Josh? It doesn't look that good, but of course they can put another lap in, and yeah, you only need to have one amazing lap to get pole position. Let's keep an eye on that.
Exactly, yeah, and I mean the most important thing will be to really be the last driver to cross the line to start your lap. Because see, with it drying out continually, if you're the last driver on the track, then you've got the driest track. Yeah. That's maybe where we'll see some people lower down jump up the order.
I see a lot of green sector time, so a lot of people are improving. So that means the track is just going to be better and better. So yeah, you want to go start your last qualifying lap with, I think, around 20 seconds to go, because then you will have the driest the driest track. So let's see who will be who is doing that.
Exactly. I've just seen Ernest Lappens there. He came into the box, but he wasn't able to exit the pits with enough time to set a lap. So he's had to abort that, and he'll just be sitting and watching the rest of the session, hoping that no one can beat him. So Isaac Morris starts his what will probably be his final lap.
This can cost him a lot of positions, because if the track is getting better, then then I can see some people are putting in better laps. Speaking about better laps, Scott Mitchell jumps to P8, so that's a big improvement for him now.
It is, yeah, much more when you'd expect. Dylan Platt as well jumps up to P8 actually just to beat him. He was quite far down for most of the session, but yeah, Dylan Platt up there again where you'd probably expect to see him after his first round last time out. I think Jack Nichols as well is actually not a great first sector from him.
No.
So we'll see if he can string together for the rest of the lap.
We're now, I believe, watching Mike Quint again. Mike Quint is on 2 faster sectors. Can he improve? Can he jump to, let's say, P3 again? He's pushing really hard, and let's see. He needs to put the whole lap together. Can he do it?
Exactly. You can see just visually there, by the way, that it's dried out a lot. But I don't think anyone's risking it on the dries. See where Mike Quint goes though. He crosses the line and goes P2.
P2
Just beats
for
Isaac
Mike
by 1,000. Isaac. Oh, maybe that was his out lap that he was on. I don't think he set any sector times. No, he boxes. So Isaac also didn't have time.
But Mike Quint was, I believe, really smart here, because he crosses the line with, I believe, around 7 seconds to go. So if he has enough fuel, he can go for another lap. And Ernst Lappens cannot improve on this time because he's in the pits. Can Mike Quint get pole here? That would be the story.
That would be very interesting to see. But yeah, like you say, he's green in sector 1 again. So he is, like we said, has the best conditions here out of anyone really on the track. No one's setting any purple times at the moment though, but quite a lot of greens for the people still able to finish. Darius Andre here with 2 green sectors. Also
Jake Denhan with a green sector. Let's see what he can do. We've got a lot of people still improving. Yeah, but look at Darius. Darius is smart. Can he pull the lap out of the bag? Of course, he's the championship leader, and he's that because of his decent results.
Exactly, yeah, he had a very strong first round in Australia. Bahrain, not quite as strong, not quite as kind of explosive pace that you'd expect from him, but still got solid points there. And now, like you say, 2 green sectors. Very nice fight, the final corner there. See what you can do. Oh, bounces over the grass there, but he shoots up to P5. So
P5. Let's watch Mike Quint now. Mike Quint is pretty close. I believe he's still behind Ernst Lappens on sector time, but I think the 3rd sector is key, and Mike Quint showed already he is quite fast there. Can he go to pole position? Oh, he's trying it all. He went in full focus. Can he do it?
No, I think he went slower there in the final sector, so didn't actually improve his lap time, unfortunately. But P2, he'll be very happy with that. And behind, I don't think many other people were able to improve much.
Chris Gitsoff jumped to P8, which was quite good, and I believe now all people did set their qualifying laps. So I believe this is it.
Everyone finished, yeah. That's Ernest Lappens. We should probably say as well that obviously he's coming in to replace Stephen Lexo at Dino Force Polona. Stephen Lexo, I don't believe will be racing for the rest of the season, so Ernest Lappens comes in to take his place, and what a way to start his season.
Yeah, that's a very interesting qualifying for that. But I was afraid for Ernst Lappens that he would lose his pole position, because he was in the pits for quite some time. In the end, he knew he couldn't get another lap in.
Exactly.
But
but then Mike Quint there in P2. Very good stuff from him. Like I say, quite a surprise considering the start of the season he's had. But that's the pace that we know he's had all along. Isaac Morris P3, very good from him. Obviously, winner last time out. Guillaume Mass in P4. Darius Andre P5. Fabian Ruth P6. Jake Tenahan P7. Chris Gitsoff P8. with Faber P9 and Dylan Platt round out the top 10. And then down there you've got Scott Mitchell for Kings Racing in P11. I'd say maybe not quite as strong as they would have hoped for, but still good starting place nonetheless for them. Ruven Machete on his SE debut gets P12. Good stuff there. Michael Tumala for Cap Clay P13 and Guillaume Brandt. The other Force Bologna down in 14th. Sure he'll be hoping for a bit more in the race there. You got Tom Parker as well, P15. Adam Rainey 16th. Max Huss 17th. Hy Sonneveld 18th. Diego Moscato P19 and Jack Nichols P20. Again, a bit lower than probably you would have hoped for. Then you've got the two Deltecs there, P21 and 22. Matthew Sandat 23 and Holsall 24. Mike Bell 25. Wazowski P26. Kevin Morville P27. Justin van der Smissen P28. Kaylin Penny on her return after having to set out Bahrain in P29. And Tommy Koivunen rounds out the grid, P30. No, he doesn't, sorry. That's Tom van der Voort in P31 for Alpha Sierra, who didn't set a lap time there.
Yeah,
I believe actually he might have only just joined the session.
Yeah,
I don't remember him seeing him there.
He was in the qualifying session, but left, I believe, halfway without setting a lap time. But I believe it's getting worse for the team because I believe Ben Willis, the other driver, has got some problems getting the game to work. So yeah, problems at team Alpha Sierra, and let's hope they can get on the grid, at least do the start, because with the rain I think a lot is still possible, and if you can drive from the back to like point scoring position, you can be lucky enough to be reversed, and then everything is still possible.
Exactly, like I say, with the rain it will be very interesting. We've just seen there, that was a car on the dry tyres just sliding off at turn 1. So again, like I say, obviously it was drying out at the end of the session there, but there is still a little bit of rain coming down. The drivers will have to be testing out a lot to see whether the dry tyres are worth it at the moment. Obviously with the dry tyres, even if they are faster, they are very difficult to overtake on, especially when other people are on the wet. Because as soon as you go offline, there's just zero grip at all. It's like an ice rink. A lot for these guys to test out here.
But you need to test it at least. If you think it feels good and it's raceable, then it can give you a big gain. If it would not rain at the race, maybe it stops raining, or we will not get any more rain in the first race. It will only dry out, and then maybe the first let's say first 7-8 laps will be difficult, but then the track will help you being faster and faster. So that's the choice you need to make as a driver. So let's see what will happen.
That's what drivers will be hoping for, but actually as we were watching there with Hy Sonneveld testing out the dry tyres, the rain suddenly shot up. It suddenly came pouring down with rain up to the highest it's been even in practice. Looking like the dry tyres at the moment technically will still be the best, I think, but maybe going into the race, especially if you don't have all the cars running around it, might not stay that way.
I'm wondering if there are any teams which are saying like, no, we want to start out of the pits. It could be an option for some of the drivers to maybe avoid a bit of the problems that might happen in turn 1. The problem with these cars is, and I think you know this as well, Josh, is that you can drive this car in the rain, but it's the poor visibility which can cut a lot of people out.
Exactly, especially like into the heavy braking zone at the hairpin at the end of the lap. You don't want to be going into their blind because it could cause big accidents. That is always a tricky part. And as well, if you've got no visibility, like I say, even on the wet tyres, if you slightly go off the racing line where there's just more water built up, that will still not end well for you. So these drivers are going to have to be very careful when we get into the race. And let's see if we can see some decent lap times now, because that gives a bit of an indication who could be fast in the rain. Yeah, we actually had, so Kozlowski, Sandak and Platt all set times on the wet tyres, and they're within about half a second of each other. And then Diego Moscato on the dry tyres is about 7 seconds slower, I'm assuming with a few spins in there. He is in the runoff.
You're saying that, but he is faster in the second and the third sector, so that's kind of interesting.
Very true, yeah.
Yeah, if you could make that stick, but that's the biggest problem. If you can make it stick, and it also is about how is your launch at the start. I mean, a dry tire can be much better, but if you cannot get away from your grid spot, then you can lose 10 positions and you cannot make that right very easily. So that's all those things you need to think about, and I think a lot of those things are what can make or break you.
Exactly. Worth pointing out as well, so we talked about Adrian Faber's 40 place grid penalty there, but there are a few more drivers for penalties. So you got Diego Moscato himself with a 10 place grid penalty, Tony Halsall as well with a 10 place grid penalty, Mike Bell with 5, and Tom van der Voort as well with a 5 place grid penalty. So obviously they'll be starting a little bit lower than what they would have hoped for.
Yeah. Let's see who's testing now.
At the moment, looking at, obviously the drivers will be going more for race pace at the moment, and Scott Mitchell is stopping the time. Obviously, practice session can't tell everything. There'll be some drivers not even doing that, and some not meant to be pushing as much as they can. But it's a good sign for the Kings Racing guys. Obviously, not as high as they would have hoped in qualifying, but race pace maybe looking quite good.
Yeah, let's see that. Well, I heard that we might have not have Ernst Lapins on pole position. I believe he had a grid penalty from last year. Cannot 100% confirm that, so we will see. We will see if that will be the case or not. But a little bird just told me that. So yeah, makes it very interesting also for us. And that would actually, if he doesn't start from pole, would it make it maybe for the viewers more interesting, because yeah, he looks pretty fast on this track. And
exactly, yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Just one extra driver having to fight their way through the grid. Yeah, it would definitely make it interesting, especially in these conditions.
Yeah. To be fair, getting back on Mike Quint, he also shows in the warm-up session that he is one of the faster guys here, because he now is in third position in this session. So it shows that he is the guy that will will have a good round if everything works well.
Yeah, we talk about how he has the pace and just hasn't been able to kind of capitalise on that yet, and maybe this will be the round where he can do that, and maybe that will help kickstart the rest of the season for him, give him the bit of motivation maybe that he needs to keep us up for the rest of the season. And just seen as well, it has been confirmed that Ernest Lapins does have a 10 place grid penalty.
Ooh.
So
okay.
Yeah, he'll be starting obviously well, it'll probably be P10 with other penalties.
But for him that's a bit annoying because of the spray, and yeah, not what he would have liked, but well, if you have a 10 place grid penalty, then get pole position, then at least you have the best available starting position after the penalty.
So, yeah, exactly. An important thing as well, though, if he does start P10, obviously the starting grid will be quite an important, or will play quite an important role in the start of this race, because you've got the well, actually at the back of the grid, a lot of the drivers will be running over the right hand side, but then as you go towards the front, a lot of the drivers on their normal laps will be running over the left hand side of the grid. So that will be where it's drier, and that will be where you'd expect drivers to be able to get a much better start with a bit more grip.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously Ernest Lapins would have been pole, would have been on the slightly drier side and in the best position. Now, if he is in P10, that will not only be on the worst side, but also, like you say, a lot further down and with a lot more spray in front of him.
Well, we now have 31 drivers into this session of the possible 32. I believe there are still problems at Ben Willis we can still not get Air Factor 2 to work. So I fear he will not start the first race, but we just hope for a very late entry from him. And there's always race 2. So
exactly, yeah, we saw last time out in Bahrain, obviously, Deltec not having Jared van der Weide be able to make it to race 1, but the reserve driver, Jessica Pelletier, managed to hop in for race 2. So, yeah, wonder if we'll see that again here.
Yeah.
Looking at sessions ended, so the drivers will be just finishing off their laps, finish off the final preparation. I'm sure a lot of them would have been going for some practice starts in these conditions, so it'll be likely quite different to what you'd want to be doing in the drives. So setting up for hopefully a very exciting race.
Yeah, nearly everybody is in the pits now, and we shall see.
Yeah, we should be going to the race session soon. Just we'll just be waiting for the drivers to finish off their laps, like I said. The rain is slightly lowered to what it was at the start of the session, but it is still pouring down quite heavily. So yeah, I think I'd be very surprised to see anyone go on the drives at the start. There's still obviously a lot of spray being kicked up from the cars.
Yeah.
So yeah, not be great, but if it continues to drop, then we've got 14 laps here, and again with over 30 cars driving around, that could dry out.
Yeah, luckily we are sitting dry in the commentary booth, so yeah.
Exactly, yeah, I'd much rather be here right now than out there in one of those cars. Yeah. Done a fair few wet races before, and they're fun, but they can also be very frustrating.
Yeah.
Depending on the type of driver or the type of result you can get.
Yeah, just you need to be very calm in I believe in race setting. Just keep the car pointing in the right direction, not over push the car. I think that those are things you need to take care of. And yeah, but if you're nearly on the limit, you can of course always spin. So it will be interesting to see if we see some mistakes from people. If how bad that mistake will be. Will that be race ending already? It potentially could. You can just lose control and just slam in the barrier and lose your rear wing, and that's the end of the story of race 1. But let's hope we will not have too much drama. But yeah, rain is always interesting. The great equalizer, I believe. I believe they said that rain drivers are a bit of different people than like dry weather drivers. So yeah, let's see who can show their skill.
Exactly. Obviously, they are. Well, this is a spec series anyway, so the cars are equal. But yeah, like you say, weather driving is still, it's a different type of skill set really to be able to do well there. So we just see all the drivers getting onto the grid now. So I'd be very surprised if any of them are on the dry tyres.
Yeah. Let's also keep an eye on Tom van der Voort, who should be much faster, and as the P29 he starts now. Let's see if he can improve on that position during the race.
Exactly, yeah. Like I said, a few drivers out of position, so should be quite a few fighting the way through, which that added on to the conditions we've already got, we should be in for a very exciting race. So I believe all the drivers are on the grid now, just waiting for the start the formation lap. So here we go. Now to just run you through the grid, see Mike Quinn ends up on pole with Ernest Lappin's penalty, with Isaac Morris alongside him. We'll be looking for another strong result like in Bahrain. Got Guillermo Mast P3, Darius Andre P4, Fabian Roof P5 and Denahan P6, and Chris Gitsoff P7 and Dylan Platt P8. And we've got Ernest Lappins with that penalty, drops down to P9. It's not quite as bad as it could have been, but still not where he would have wanted. Got Mitchell P10, Ruben Machedi P11, and Michael Tumala P12, quali from him. Got Guillaume Branton P13 and Tom Parker 14th. Vadim Rainey stepping in that downforce in P15, Max Hurst P16. Got Hai Sonneveld in P17, Jared van der Weide 18th, and Sousa Ferreira 19th by Fideltech, and then Mathieu Sandek in P20. And we then got Mateusz Gazowski in P21, Kevin Morville 22, Justin van der Smith in P23, and Caitlin Penny jumps up to P24 actually, so a lot of people with penalties helping out these people further down the grid. Diogo Moscato P25, Mike Bell P26, Tommy Koivunen P27, Don Hulst P28. And then on the back row, Tom van der Voort, who didn't set a lap time in quali, and Adrian Faber with that big penalty lines up P30. So yeah, as you're saying, a lot of drivers there will be looking to fight the way
And
through the grid.
I believe we're missing somebody. I believe we're missing Jack Nicholls from the race.
Yes, we are. I didn't even realise that.
No, Jack Nicholls, he's so good in the championship. He already won a race and he missed the start. Oh, this is a big drama here. Oh no, because Kings Racing were also leading the championship at the teams, Josh. This can have a big impact on their on their championship, and also that from Jack.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I've just seen, checking the logs, that he did leave, I think at the end of that warm-up session. I think that's why the end of the warm-up session was so long.
Yeah.
But unfortunately was just not able to join back in time. So it must have been a computer issue or something there with him, which is not what we want to see, so that's a shame. So that could have quite a big impact on team standings here. You've got, I believe it's TCS off in P2, so they'll be looking to capitalise on that, with Andre and Denham both right up there at the front. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting for that as well.
A very interesting race. Who can do well? Who will be catched out from this rain? Do we have anybody starting from the pits? And I believe
I don't believe we do. I think everyone is lined up on the grid. We'll have the lights going on. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are go in China.
Good start from Morris.
Good start from Morris, yeah. On what I called the dirtier side of the grid, or the worst side of the grid, but good start there from Isaac. Will he keep up the inside into turn 1? Yes, he does. Pushes Mike tiny bit wide. Bit too wide there from Mike. He's onto the very slippery AstroTurf on the outside of the circuit there. So he's dropped a lot of positions. Not a good start there from him. As Darius Andre now, a great start up into P2 there from P4. That's very good stuff. Like I said, the TCS off, capitalising. He's doing it already. Straight down him as well at the front. Trying to move on Guillaume Mas, but he can't make that one stick. So yeah, very good start from Isaac Morris already. Pulling away there from Darius Andre.
Oh, we've got a crash! We've got a crash! And it's Guy son of, I believe, Guillaume Branson as well. What happened there? Is it Guillaume Branson? It is Guillaume Branson
as well there. Just ended up on the grass, but was just about able to keep control of his car. And at the front, Guillaume Mas, now in front of Darius Andre. Don't know what happened there. Darius was doing quite well, quite in front, but he's dropped a position there. Now with his teammate behind him.
Let's see
what further down, been surprisingly clean, like I say. Obviously there has been a crash, but in general, been quite good for what you'd expect from these conditions.
It looks quite good, but at the front it's Isaac Morris who says, like, hey, I'm checking out, goodbye, see you at the end of the race, because you already has a big gap. And can the others attack? No, there's not a big attack in the top 6. But I believe I see Chris Gitsoff trying to overtake Dylan Platt. Can he do it? No, not yet. See, it's now Scott Mitchell in P10. He needs, of course, try it all for Kings Racing. But I saw a big move. Well, he nearly lost it. Tom Parker out of the second to last corner. And Tom Parker is struggling a lot. He cannot get the power on. I think, yeah, the car is really unstable. But I believe I see an attack for P6, it's Ernst Lapins against Fabian Roots. Oh, and they touch Josh.
They do, yeah. That's a pretty good start there from Ernest. He sends it up the inside for turn 2. It's just about edging in front. Bit more contact there on the exit. Fabian has lost out there and has a bit of wiggle on the exit. So not great there. I was just seeing we have Kevin Morville for Sim Racing Guys fighting very hard. He got into P15 for a little bit, but then lost it again to Adam Rainey. Obviously they are still looking for their first point in the Formula Challenge, so it's going to be quite important for them to get that P15, get them the singular point. Yeah, looking further down, so we've got, like I say, High Sonneveld obviously quite far at the back, Moscato as well. Not a great start for Valence Sim Racing, but Moscato himself actually just passes Guillaume Branton, who also is not having a great round for his standards. See at the front, is that Mike Quint trying to have a look on Jake Denham there, not able to do anything there.
Oh, did we lose somebody? Oh yeah, I believe Darius.
Yeah.
Darius made a mistake. I believe I
Just
didn't
watching
see
it back,
that.
he just had a spin on his own. Just put the power down a little bit too much in the middle sector there. Oh, very, very lucky not to hit Ernest Lappin there.
And now Darius is in P8 with Scott Mitchell in P9.
Yeah,
and those
we're
are
just going to see Mike Quint, sorry to cut you off there, making a move at the hairpin. He's braking very late, or a bit too late, has a bit of a slide at the apex and not able to hold on to that. But luckily does not lose out to Ernest Lappin.
But
Yeah.
Ernst Lapins looks pretty quick. He already is in 5th position from P9 start, so I think Ernst is going really well. Can he overtake here around the outside? I saw somebody do it yesterday, but Ernst cannot do that, at least not here at this lap. But he looks quite fast at the moment.
Yeah, I've just heard some crashing in the back. Sorry, that is. I think that was Mike Bell having a bit of a spin at the final corner.
Oh, Bruno Sousa Ferreira.
Collecting it. Yeah, Bruno Sousa Ferreira. Fortunately got collected in that. Nothing he could do coming around the corner with a car parallel in front of him. So unfortunate stuff there. But at the front, Isaac Morris is still just patrolling it at the front, just pulling away. Obviously, his races in Bahrain were quite hard fought for his win, but this is more like what we saw with Darius Andre Australia, where he was just pulled away at the start, didn't really get troubled after that.
So let's see team-wise which teams are doing a decent job. Of course, it's Nova Finlandia with Isaac Morris now in the lead, but I believe you got both the Team Frelik cars in the top 6, Josh. That's pretty good from them.
Yeah, Mass in P2 and Roos P6, and also Tiso Soft looking good, Denham P3 and Andre P8. Also not quite as good as sure Andre would want to be at with that mistake earlier, but still solid points to them at the moment, and still quite a few laps to go in this race.
Yeah. And
So Jens Lappins there, sorry.
Yeah.
Go for a move at the hairpin, not able to brake quite as late. Holds it in. Still alongside, and he makes the move there. He gets a good exit, even with the tighter line on the wetter part of the track. Very good move there from Ernest Lappin.
Yeah. I think that Mike Quint and Ernst Lapins both know they need to score good points today, so they don't want to risk it going off and losing a lot of points. If Mike Quint can still finish P5 after that trouble first corner, then it still is a decent amount of points also for the team.
Exactly. Oh, just seen in the background there, sorry. High Sonneveld having a very, very big accident. I think, again, that was just on his own. That AstroTurf on the exit of the final corner there, obviously with not many cars running over it, is very, very slippy. And it's caught him out, just like it did Mike Bell just the lap before. And as you can see there, actually on the replay, he was getting a little bit out of shape even before that point. Yeah, he'll just run over that, put the power on. Oh, someone else as well, I just saw there. Also hit the wall on the other side of the track, I didn't notice. I'll just see who that was.
Let's see who that was.
I believe that might have been Don Hulsel, Sim Racing Guys.
But I believe he's still okay. I believe at least his Wing is
It
still
was.
on.
He actually got very lucky there. He just sort of brushed it with the side of his car, so he didn't lose any wing, but lost quite a bit of time. And I'm sure he could have suspension damage from that too.
Yeah. To give you an idea, is that Ernst Lapins now is the fastest guy on the track with with a purple sector 1, and yeah, he's going pretty quick. Can he get onto the podium? Can he overtake Jake Danahan? He looks to be quite racy. So your top 5 at the moment is Isaac Morris in first position, with Guillaume Mas in second position, with Jake Danahan in third position, Ernst Lapins in fourth position, and Mike Quint in fifth position. So Josh, 2 weeks ago, I believe Guillaume Mas didn't have a good round, right? From what I remember.
No, he didn't. I believe he just maybe didn't quite have the pace that he did in Australia, and also I think got just involved in a few incidents. So yeah, didn't quite get the amount of points that he would have liked, but very good so far. And I think this is more where we'd expect him. He's come into SE this year, come into GPV itself this year, and has already shown a lot of pace. I think yeah, this is sort of where we'd expect from him. I think as well, Jake Danahan behind him, obviously in P3 at the moment, with Ernest Lappins breathing down the neck of him. I think he will also be looking quite a lot to get this podium. Obviously in Australia, he was definitely had the pace for it, but unfortunately made a few mistakes. And in Bahrain as well, he had a lot of pace, but unfortunately was not able to grab a podium. So I'm sure he'll be doing quite a bit to hold on to this. But it'd be difficult to defend from Ernst Lappins here.
While Isaac Morris is just doing the laps, and he's not being threatened. Guillaume is not close, and Isaac can just do his thing and just drive decent lap times, not even putting in super fast lap time. Just make sure the tires are good, you're not locking up too much, and just driving all the laps as clean as you can. And we nearly completed 5 laps, so yeah, he's doing a very decent job at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, an important thing to remember is being wet conditions. There'll be no DRS for the drivers here, so we just saw Ernst Lappin had a look at Jake Danahan, but he just didn't have the overspeed, and obviously the DRS, or not having DRS, wouldn't have helped there. You see there, Adrian Faber from the back is already up into P17 and just passed Tom van der Voort, who also started at the back with him.
Yeah, those two started from the back, so that's very interesting. But I believe it is a car off, and it's Mikael Tomala. So that promotes Faber and Van der Voort not yet into the points, but this can be very good for them. If they can get some decent points, it can very well be that they will be rewarded with a very good reverse grid position. So there's all to fight for Tom van der Voort and Adrian Faber. So
definitely. Just seeing there with Tomala on the replay, I'm actually on board with him as well. And it's quite a weird one. He seemed to go off the track.
Oh, again?
Maybe seeing what other people had done before. He just didn't even attempt to steer or do any throttle inputs. So he obviously didn't hit the wall hard, but lost a lot of time with that. So yeah, at the front, they've been fighting very hard, but no changes of positions yet. And Isaac Morris as well actually claimed back that fastest lap. But maybe now he is starting to push a little bit more after what you were saying about him last time round.
That's always the case. While P3, P4, and P5 are still very close. Mike Quint can follow Ernst Lapins pretty nicely, and Ernst can follow Jake Danahan quite a bit. But I believe Jake has quite a high top speed, so.
He does, so I checked on board there, and actually, even without slipstream and anything, Danahan had a slightly higher top speed there than Ernst Lappin, and then Mike Quint as well, with more than both of them.
I believe Jake Danahan made a bit of a mistake in breaking into the after the long straight, because he locked up. Actually, now Ernst Lapins is pretty close. Can Ernst Lapins go around the outside? No, he will go around the inside. This will be a super move. He can make it stick. Oh, can he make it stick? Oh, drifting, and they judge. And what will my Quint do? My Quint is looking to those. Oh, it's like karting in the rain. It's like drifting, but Ansla Pins gets it, and my Quint gets to P4. So Jake Danahan goes from P3 to P5, but now tries to go back to P4. Breaks later, but my Quint has the inside. Can he do it? He's now next to it. My Quint is still there. And my Quint is ahead, and I think he will stay ahead into the next couple of corners. So, it was quite a nice move from Ernst. So, yeah. Oh, he went for it and made it stick. So, yeah, it was very good to see.
Yeah, exactly, really did. I was just looking as well there at the back here, the end of it here on the replay. But Guzowski unfortunately got caught out by Van der Smissen in front of him, just losing his rear out the hairpin. And unfortunately Guzowski lost his front wing in that, so had to pit, and then didn't quite have the smoothest of pit entries he'd have wanted, but
he's out.
he already had a lot of damage anyway, and decided to retire, obviously losing a lot of time through all that. So
yeah, and we now have got two battles. My Quint is really quick. Can he overtake Ansla Pins? But look at Fabian Root in P6. He's going to try to overtake Jake Danahan for P5. My Quint is looking into it for P3. He's going for it. Can he brake later? Yeah, he tries to brake later. We'll have the inside. They judge, but I think my Quint will pass, and my Quint will pass. I think it was still quite clean. They judged at the braking zone, but it was not intentional. So my Quint goes up to that podium position while Ansla Pins is in P4. Oh, and a big slide for Ansla Pins. While Jake Danahan now is in P5, and Fabian Root couldn't make that move stick for P5. So still the Irishman in P5.
yeah, and I was just seeing as well there, yeah, Tom Parker passing Darius Andre at the hairpin.
Ooh, Scott Mitchell for P10. Scott Mitchell for P10. And he gets it. No, they touch.
Contact. But
Oh,
just about able to hold on, and that's Max Huss there. Just trying to grab the remains from both of them.
Yeah.
Not quite able to get it on Scott Mitchell. Could be difficult to go around the outside here, yeah, and he's had to back out.
but look,
But he's still
yeah,
side by side with Chris Gitsov.
yeah, look at
Also is
those.
able to get there at it.
Yeah, oh, look at those two academy cars. They're doing very well, both in the points, but yeah, they're fighting pretty hard as well. And if you see somebody make a mistake in front of you, you think, oh, this is my chance to potentially go for it, and that's what Max Huss tried to do.
Exactly, yeah, like I say, these conditions, it's always going to be more difficult to pass anyone. So yeah, if you see a mistake, you have to pounce on it, otherwise you'll be the one losing out. Yeah, as I was saying, Darius Andre, he seems to be struggling quite a bit in these conditions. Obviously, we saw him spin near the start of the race, and he got passed by Tom Parker, just seemingly not able to brake properly at the hairpin.
Yeah.
And then at the final corner himself, running wide onto AstroTurf.
I believe a lot of people are struggling. I believe I see Dylan Platt now in P7 struggling as well. A lot of
Oh yeah, and
problems with
Fabian
moving.
Ruth there actually just passing Jake Danahan down the straight. I don't know if Danahan must have made a mistake at that final corner. Oh, and Fabian Ruth, yeah, just not able to brake as late as him at the hairpin. Not able to get the switchback either on that inside line.
I think it's all about getting decent points at the end of race one, so you can risk it all for one position more, but in the end you want to get the decent points in. I think in those conditions that's more important. You've got more to lose than you have to gain, I would say, in a race like this. Well, Darius Andre goes off the track, now gets back onto the track. Scott Mitchell will have a run now. Goes around the outside, go to the inside. No, Darius sees that. Goes for it. Around the outside, no. Oh, Darius is struggling, and now Scott Mitchell gets the inside. Darius is struggling. He's really struggling. Oh, now in P10. And we'll
There it is,
only
yeah.
get worse.
And obviously P10 though, maybe good from him. Obviously the reverse grid is chosen randomly for a number between 10 and 15.
Yeah.
So even being in P10, obviously the points aren't great for this round, for this race, but could give him a good start for race 2. As behind we see actually Adrian Faber done a fantastic job here to get up to P12 after starting P30.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously he himself now is in the range for reverse grid pole, which would be very good stuff from him. But I guess exactly what you would have hoped to do.
we currently have got 3 people who are out of the race. Mikael Tsumala for Scuderia Cap Clay, Mateusz Guzowski for Thunderdog, and Gijs Sonneveld for Valent Sim Racing. Well, I also noticed that Maciej Sandak is only in P22, so he also has a very bad race at the moment. I expected much more from it.
Yeah, obviously he as well though. Sorry, I'll just have a look here at Fabian Roof in the slipstream with Jake Dennehan down the straight. See Dennehan, we know he's got a fast car down the straight. Fabian Roof, he's going to have to be a big dive, and he goes for it. Oh, bit of contact there at the apex, but they both just about make it through. Fabian Roof though, not quite able to get as good of the exit. So you're going to stay side by side through the final corner. Be very tricky to do that. No, Fabian just lets him
very
go.
Very tricky. Well, I noticed...
we just saw that Faber making a move on his teammate, and it all looked a bit busy down there with Mercedes now following P13.
Yes, well, we've got Mike Quint now in 2nd position. I believe, I missed that. He was in 3rd position, Josh, a lap ago.
Yes, he was. Guillaume Mas was in P2, wasn't he?
Ooh,
not
what
sure
happened
there then? But he, I can have a look back. He must have made a mistake somewhere along the line.
Let's see. It's very interesting.
Just trying to look back. So, it was actually, he had, unfortunately, a lag incident there.
Oh.
Going through the middle sector, he just sort of, his car went off, and actually, oh wow. Mike Quint was very lucky. It was a big old lag incident there for Mas, and he ended up just behind Mike Quint. If he'd been any further forward, then that would not have ended up well for either of them. So unfortunately there for Mas, he was looking very good. He had a lot of pace. Obviously not compared to Isaac Morris, who's currently dominating at the front, but he had a lot of pace and was looking good for that P2 there.
Yeah. Just let's take you through the top 15 runners at the moment. It's Isaac Morris in 1st position, with Mike Quint in 2nd position, Guillermo Mas in 3rd position, with Ernst Lapins in 4th position.
So you might just have to hold on for P5 there, because you've got Fabian Roof. Jake Dennehan made a mistake going into that long corner there. Fabian Roof, good exit, but just not the straight line speed on Jake Dennehan. Got a really good setup for these conditions. Does Jake is able to do help him a lot with defending, but Fabian Roof again going for a big dive. This time it's a bit cleaner than last time out, and he's got the position made.
See, and yeah, Tom Parker is also...
You can now run through your top 15 if you want.
Yes, Jake Dennehan is now P6 with Dylan Platt P7. Actually, Tom Parker is really close to Dylan Platt and P7. Scott Mitchell now in P9. I think that's damage limitation. Darius Andre in 10th, Adrian Faber in 11th, with Chris Gitsoff in 12th. Ruven Machede in P13, Adam Rainey in P14, and Tom Vandervoort in P15. And having that last point position, well, Max Huss in the other academy car is now in P16. And that's the place you don't want to have, because you want to have at least 1 point and a chance to be reversed. So it will be a big fight for Max Huss to get back into the top 15. Let's see if he can do so.
Exactly, yeah, and again, someone who will be fighting hard for this point is Kevin Morville. I believe in the... Oh, as he goes for a big dive there at Max Huss. Oh, and that's not so great. Ends up tapping the back of Max Huss and almost spinning himself out. Yeah. But I was just going to point out that actually in the last 3 races, he's had P16. So they're in the hunt for their first point, and unfortunately just missing out every time now, because of that he lost a place to Diogo Moscato. So, not great stuff there, and looking quite difficult for those wanting to get that first point for the team. As Moscato in front of him though, loses it, he has to go off the track. But looking further forward, see we've seen that Darius Andre has been struggling, and now he's got Adrian Faber pressuring him. Obviously, not someone he would have expected starting P4 with Faber starting P30, but now under pressure down the straight.
Yeah.
Faber himself seems to have a very good setup down the straight here. He's weaving this way and that, trying to look for an opening. Darius, that's a lot of moves down the straight there for Darius Andre there.
Oh,
and he goes straight on anyway, but Faber as well goes off the track. It's very slippery out there, and Faber does end up with the move, and Andre loses out. I've got to say, after quite a few moves like that, maybe would have been a bit unfair to keep hold of the position anyway.
Yeah, was a bit interesting defending.
It was a bit on the edge, and just shows even more maybe just how much he's
if you've got a spinner, Max Huss spins, and can he get away from it? Oh, he's out! Max Huss is out of the race, and he was so close on points, and now it's nothing. No points for Max Huss. Oh, he was so close.
It was, again, he actually did a really good job there. I'll just watch the replay. But yeah, it was again just on that AstroTurf on the exit there. He did a very good job not to hit any walls or anything. Just ended up in the gravel, but all very close to the balance car there as well, though. But clearly deciding that maybe his race was a bit too far gone after the time lost from that. As you just see there, Dylan Platt, Tom Parker side by side into turn one. Not turn one, sorry. The middle sector. That's Tom Parker made the move. I believe these two have been basically all of the rounds so far have been right with each other on track every single race.
This is experience from Tom Parker. Tom Parker sim races I think for a long time, and he knows that he needs to be there in the end. So I think a good move from Tom Parker now in P7. Well, yeah, it's still Isaac Morris in first position, and I think he will complain by the lack of visibility on the broadcast, because I think we are not watching him that much, because he's just in a league of his own. It's like we rather watch other battles because he's just doing his job and checking out. But
it really is. And actually, with that, I was noticing obviously these wet tires in these conditions. It has been drying out a little bit over the course of the race. So the wet tyres will be quite a big ask for them to go the entire race distance here.
Yeah.
So everyone else on the grid has been dropping their lap times to below the 2 minute mark. Isaac Morris on that last lap just jumped up with 58.5, which is only a few tenths off his fastest lap of the race. As we see there, Dylan Platt, sorry, just going back for the move on Tom Parker at turn one. Loses it a little bit there, but holds on to it. And probably not able to go for any move there, no. But yeah, very impressive stuff from Isaac Morris. So the only person really able to keep his lap times down. Because everyone else, like I say, has been dropping off quite a bit.
I must say I'm also very impressed by Mike Quint. After the first corner, he went back to P5, and I think he was a bit lucky to get back in P2, but still he shows quite a lot of skill, and I think this will kickstart his season after two difficult rounds for him with not many points. This is exactly what he needed.
Exactly, and, I think like you were saying with Tom Parker, Tom Parker, with his experience helping him out a lot here, I think that's probably what's helped Mike Quint a lot as well. Like I say, maybe in normal conditions hasn't quite been feeling it, these cars, but
mistake from Ens Lapins! A mistake from Ens Lapins, he drifted it, and now it's the car of Fabian Rudd who passed through P4. Yeah, I mean, Ens Lapins has got a very good driving style, but if he smokes the tires, then it will be a bit of a problem. He tries, and he cannot repass Fabian Rudd. So it will be a very interesting final lap of the race. He's trying it again, but cannot pass Fabian Rudd at the moment.
Just seeing as well, I think Dylan Platt must have made a bit of a mistake, because he's dropped back massively from the back of Tom Parker and actually had Scott Mitchell there. Just trying to have a look. See Scott Mitchell, he's sort of stayed in P10 or P9 the entire race, so like you said before, a bit of damage limitation points-wise, but still a good race from him.
Keep in mind, Scott Mitchell is 11 points from Darius Andre in the standing, so he can gain some points. I would say 2 at the moment. So if he can pass Dylan Platt, he can gain 3 points on Darius Andre, and that will be I think important for the championship. Also because his teammate missed out on the start. So
Exactly. It's quite, and even though it's not maybe as impressive a race as we've seen from them before, it's an important one nonetheless. Got Mitchell to come home P9 there ahead of Darius Andre. Just have a look. Ernest Lappins, maybe that mistake was, like I said, because of smoking his tyres, because he has dropped back from Fabian Reef on the rest of this lap. And at the moment, it's looking like a very good result for Team Frelik at P3 and P4 at the moment.
Yeah, and of course for Nova Finlandia, because we're on the back straight for the last time. And do I see already Isaac Morris celebrating the win a bit? Oh, that would be very interesting, because he was moving a bit on the straight, but he's nearly at the finish line, and he will win. I believe back-to-back races. He won race 2 at Bahrain, and now will win the first race of the evening here at China. Master in the dry, master in the wet. It's Isaac Morris. I take my hat off for you. And also Mike Quint. He does kickstart his campaign at the third round with second position. Jon Mamas gets P3. Good result. And P4 is for Fabian Root. Team Fairly scores a lot of points with Ensla Pins down P5. Really good job for Ensla Pins. If you know where he started. Jake Danahan, impressive in P6. With Tom Parker, decent in P7. Dylan Platt in P8, good points. With Adrian Faber, respect for Adrian Faber in P9, he fought for it. Scott Mitchell in P10. And Darius Andre only in P11, but still points, and that's important. Ruven Meshedev at his debut got P12. Also a very impressive drive from the German driver. With Adam Rainey, another guy who made his debut, replacing Luke Mitchell for this round in P13, so good points. With Chris Gitzoff in P14 and Tom van der Voort stealing away that final points position. But more importantly, he still has a chance of a reverse grid pole, and let's hope for him he can get it. So
on the final lap there, you actually had Adrian Faber make the move on Scott Mitchell, just at the hairpin, just went up the inside of him to take that P9, which actually might work out well for Scott Mitchell. So he would have lost, I believe, just 1 point in that move, but it now means Scott Mitchell is guaranteed to be within the reverse grid and has a chance for pole here.
Yeah.
So maybe Faber would have been a bit better off thinking tactically there and going for that. But obviously made up a lot of positions, so maybe he's just wanting to do that again for race 2.
I think so. So the people who didn't score points in P16 it was Diogo Moscato, with P17 for Kevin Marvel. Oh, still no points for Team CRG. Oh, with Caitlin Penny, impressive in P18. She just kept her cool, and P18 is this, I think, quite a good race. But Mike Bell in P19, Justin van der Smith in P20, Gerard van der Weide, I expected a bit more, he's in P21, with Guillaume Branton in P22. Josh, Guillaume Branton only in P22. He doesn't have the results at the moment, Josh.
No, he doesn't. Obviously, he did race 1 or round 1 in Australia for Valet Esports and did very well there. Unfortunately, it was Bahrain and now first half of the Chinese round. Not been too great since it's moved to Force Polonia. Sure, not to do with the team, but just fortunate for him. And from what we saw from him last year, you would expect a little bit more. Yeah,
but we know how good he is, so that's the thing. Just I think also a bit unlucky with the first lap incident, I believe, with Kai Sonneveld. So we had Tommy Koivunen in P23, with Bruno Sousa Ferreira in P24, with Max Huss retiring from P25. Other retirements were, I believe, Maciej Sandak. Oh, Maciej Sandak really, disappointed here, because he scored a lot of points in the first 2 rounds, but now a 0 score from him. With Doan Halsal in P27, Michael Tomala in P28, with Mateusz Guzowski also retiring in P29, and Gijs Sonneveld in P30. So that was race 1.
Yeah, it was a very interesting one. And like you said, back-to-back wins for Isaac Morris there. Very good stuff from him. And just a very interesting race throughout the field. But we're going to head to a 5-minute break now. Or 5-minute warm-up session between the races, and we'll be back in a bit for race 2.
Yeah, care for a cup of coffee?
Hello, and we are back for race 2 here at China. The very, very exciting first race there with these tricky wet conditions, which have stayed with us for at least the warm-up session of race 2 here. Still quite a bit of rain coming down, as we just had the R-Factor man say this thing. So we are in the race session. We've had news that it's P14 was a reverse grid number, so we've got Chris Gitsov on pole for Valley Esports, and that will also work out quite well for Darius Andre after a, you got to say, rather disappointing race 1 from him. So, Menno, what are you expecting from this race? More of what we saw in race 1?
Yeah, but this will give a huge opportunity for I think the top 5 starters in this race. This will be a very big opportunity to do well. But let's also see what the what the fast guys of race 1 will do, if they can move back into a good position. Now it's also all eyes on Isaac Morris. Can he get back to in good position? I believe 2 weeks ago he did so, jumping from, I believe, what was it then? He drove back from.
Yeah, I know he got P2 in race 1 last time out, so yeah, it was quite far down. Still won race 2, so good stuff from him. But here we go, like I say, Chris Gitsov on pole, so we'll just run through the rest of the grid. So he's got Adam Rainey lining up alongside him for downforce, newcomer obviously for this race, and Ruben Machado as well for the academy team in P3, with Darius Andre P4. We're looking to improve a lot from race 1. Scott Mitchell for P5 for Kings Racing, and Faber P6 after a great race 1 for him. Dylan Platt P7 and Tom Parker P8 alongside each other, as we've come to expect now, with Jake Denham P9 and Ernest Sappins P10, and the 2 team features of Ruth and Mass in 11th, 12th. And then we've got Mike Quint after a great race 1 from him in P13, and Isaac Morris as well with a great race 1. He'll be looking to fight his way up from 14th. Tom Van der Voort 15th and Moscato 16th. Then Kevin Morville P17 for Sim Racing guys, over Caitlin Penny in P18, Mike Bell P19 and Justin Van der Smissen P20. And then Jared van der Weide in P21, Guillaume Brandt in P22, Tommy Koiven in P23 and Bruno Sousa Ferreira P24. Then Maxus in P25, Macho Santat 26th. Don Horsell 27th and Michael Tumala in P28. And at the back of the grid, we've got Mateusz Kozowski in 29th, Kai Sonneveld P30, and then the 2 people that didn't make it to race 1, Jack Nichols and Ben Willis on the back row. Good to see both of them make it here for race 2, but obviously it'll be very difficult for them to get anything out of it right now, so they've got a big old fight on their hands.
Yeah, we've got a full house, so 32 drivers all on the grid. So I just had confirmation on the current championship standings, and I believe Isaac Morris now is the championship leader with 74 points, with Darius Andre now on 66 points, second in the championship. Scott Mitchell now with 56 points, third in the championship.
Yeah, very interesting there, and obviously after Australia, we thought Darius was potentially going to be someone to run away with it. But yeah, Isaac in the last 2 rounds really has pulled his feet out and managed to have a great couple of rounds with obviously 2 wins. Obviously, it'll be a bit more difficult now in 14th, but Bahrain last time out, he was around this position and still won. Yeah. So if it can happen. And he had a lot of pace on him in race 1, so yeah.
Like I said before, is that you cannot win a championship in here at China, but you can lose it. So if you want to do well in a championship, you need to score good points here if you can. So make the best of every opportunity, and that's what they all want, of course. So they're nearly all lined up.
Yep, all lined up on the grid now. Lights are coming on. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we go again in China. We've got Chris Gitsov there, was facing massively to the right. And
Scott Mitchell with a very good start. Jumps Darius Andre. So Scott Mitchell on P4, challenging for P3. Oh, nearly a touch. But Scott Mitchell up to P4.
Yeah, so all bit clean throughout. Isaac Morris, he did make up a few positions, but now has dropped that down to 14th. on his start, and all get quite feisty in the middle there. Dylan Platt goes for a half spin there, just about manages to save it though. Very good stuff from him. And yeah, at the front we got Ruben Machado having a look around the outside. Only gets a hit from Scott Mitchell there. Scott, yeah, backing off a little bit, not to take the position there. So good to see from him. And we've got Denhern and Lappin side by side through the S's in the middle. Lappin's still holding on, hit a contact there, but Lappin has the inside for the next one. He made that move stick. Very nice to see.
And Baral still driving, still pretty clean. Well, Fabian Root just falls back the order a bit. He's now in P17, so he's struggling a bit. Let's see who had a bad start, who had a good start. I think everybody is still going strong. Oh, Dylan Platt, yeah, Dylan Platt only in P26 now, so a bit of problems with him. Oh, and we've got a spinner.
Yeah,
it was Guy Sonneveld.
Yeah, shame to see there. I think there was just quite a few cars getting way too close to each other, not ending well. But Isaac Morris, he has made his way back up to P12, and Faber down the straight. Oh, big crash. That is
happened there?
What we want to see. Faber is rolling.
Oh, he's still flying. He's still flying.
That is,
and a
more
bit,
contact.
yeah, there's damage there, and I think there was a wing there. And who's this? Is this Parker? No, this is Bell.
Isaac Morris down to P20 as he got damage. Yes, Isaac Morris without a front wing.
Oh no!
Got up in that incident. I'm not sure what happened here. Oh, is that what the TCS is? Just a bit of unfortunate contact there, and Faber going for a spin, and then he would have just got a big hit there. Yeah, and that's where Isaac lost his wing. That is awful to see. Yeah. And unfortunately, Faber, after such a great race one, is now out. And
Quint also in the pits. So the numbers 1 and 2 are in big trouble. And then the first race is so good, but then the second race will be so bad, I would say, in terms of not scoring any points. At least that will be very difficult now. But look at Chris Gitsoff. He's pulling away. Will this be the day of Chris Gitsoff? He only had a P14 position, which is of course points. But is this the race he wanted to drive? Because he's now, I think, at least a second away from Adam Rainey, who also is doing a very good job at his debut race in second position. And look at Ruven Machado, another debutant in P3. They're doing such a good job. And with Isaac Morris now in trouble, this is really good for Scott Mitchell and for Darius Andre. So
exactly, like I say, the people who were at the front in race one now mostly out of it. It's a great opportunity for these guys.
And look at P6. Look who is in P6. It's Ernst Lapins, and he is really quick. So he's still in there for some good points.
Front, you got Machado trying to go around the outside of Adam Rainey down into the hairpin. They break it around the same point. And he's not able to get that. Can he get the switch back? No, not quite. Scott Mitchell round.
Scott Mitchell
round. He's blocked.
What happened there?
Part of the track there. I didn't see what happened. It must have been, I'm gonna say, probably a tiny.
Oh, it's Darius. No.
He got Darius. 2 hits actually. He got a hit from Darius and from Ernst Lappins there at the hairpin. Very unfortunate to see there. Not what you want. So it's allowed Darius up into P4 and Ernst into P5, but got to say, really, it was a tap from both of them, sent him round. So interested to see if anything happens from that. He has been able to recover quite well though. He's still in P9, so he still has some points. Sounds like he's battling Tom Parker here. They make a bit of contact. They do make it round. And Tom Van der Voort actually in P8 from P15. Very good stuff from him. We've got Jack Nichols up into P20, obviously starting right at the back in P32. So he's got quite lucky with all the incidents that have happened so far. And like you say, Chris Gitsoff, he's doing a bit of an Isaac Morris here, as we'll, I guess, have to start calling it, with almost a 2-second gap to Ruben Machado, who did make the move to get up into P2 on Adam Rainey.
Question for you, Josh. We just saw the spin of Scott Mitchell, and that was caused by Darius Andre and Ernst Lapins. of course, it's too early to say if that will be a penalty, but will you have that in mind if you just like see one of your rivals spin because you hit him? Will you then think like, oh, am I in trouble as a driver, or do you just go for it and just look into it later?
I think in this case with where Andre, actually, as I was about to say, Andre and Lappins are now battling themselves down the straight. But I think with how they ended up carrying on, Scott Mitchell lost a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably would have to just ignore it for the moment, carry on as they can. It's a bit too. Lappins there gets a great exit. Contact between them though.
Yeah.
These two can both get quite feisty.
And they crash!
They've both been off.
There goes Darius.
Lappins carries on though. Darius spinning on the AstroTurf.
Oh, guys, just drive smart, and Darius loses another few positions. This is not what I wanted. He could potentially score a lot of points, while Isaac Morris, I think, will not score any points because he was in the pits. But you need to drive smart if you're Darius. Yeah, I'm not sure if he does that at the moment. But yeah, of course, P7 would still be a good amount of points when your main rival gets 0, most likely. But yeah, we will see in the next part of the race.
Exactly. Yeah, you've got to say that all those people that were involved in that incident, yeah, probably won't be getting points now. Isaac Morris himself is about 50 seconds off the point. So, see, with only 10 laps to go, probably not going to make that gap up, unfortunately. But looking into the points, so you've got Kevin Moorville, P14 for Sim Racing guys. As we said, still haven't scored any points yet, but looking good for them, with a decent gap back to Cesar Ferreira, who's himself just gone off P16. So yeah, good stuff there from Kevin Moorville, and also Caitlin Penny in 13th place, maybe looking for a move here. Matt Tuss actually in P12. She doesn't quite go through it there, not able to make quite as late, but Caitlin Penny, this would be her first points in the career ladder as a whole, I believe, if she manages to finish it, so that would be good from her. As looking, you've got Ernest Lappins now on Adam Rainey into the hairpin. Ernest Lappins just does not look like he has the speed down the straight, but he's really good under brakes there. Gets Adam Rainey, covers him off on the exit. Over to see Fabian Roof and Scott Mitchell side by side at the hairpin. Scott Mitchell just about holding on to that position, is he? But he's going to be on the outside for this final corner. And yeah, he quite smartly backs out of that one. And Tom van der Wortlo now making a move on Darius Andre into turn 1. They've had a few so far this season, and Tom backs out.
But he gets it. He gets it.
Back into turn 2.
This is telling, I believe, because you just see Darius doesn't have the touch in the rain. He just is struggling. He cannot place the car where he wants to place it.
Exactly. Yeah. In Australia, he was untouchable, but now they're just not looking quite as comfortable. Maybe it's the conditions, maybe it's the track, but yeah, not quite able to go as fast as he would like, and that's allowed Tom van der Voort through.
Yeah. And you saw who's in P3 now? Who is in P3?
Yeah,
and Lappins.
Past Rainey, he's right on the back of Machado as well, and actually I've noticed both of them are catching Chris Gitsov in P1. So, and Machado makes a mistake there, gets onto the curb, and that's just allowed Ernst Lappins through very easily.
Yeah.
Unfortunately there, Lappins, he at this point, he's got to be eyeing up the win here. He's got a lot of pace, we know that. And Chris
he's got a lot of pace.
Not quite as much.
Yeah. And Chris Gitsov needs to drive his best race of his life if he, I think, wants to win this one, because Ernst Lappins is going
Adam
for
Rainey,
it.
sorry, I just noticed he just went on the curb, on the corner, onto the back straight, allowed Guillaume and Mass down alongside of him into the hairpin. Mass on the slightly dry line, should have slightly better braking, but Roddy sticks his nose in there still. And they make it through cleanly. Mass a bit wiggly on the exit, but they're still there side by side. And in this final corner, Rainey on the
brakes later. Yeah, brakes later.
Oh, but yeah, massive switchback there.
Look at this! And also Denhan.
Denhan, yeah, is well making the move on Mass. And Denhan, will he look for this move on Rainey up into turn 1? He's got the momentum, but not quite close enough to make a move there, but yeah, very good stuff from Denhan to capitalise on that from Mass, who, after trying to go for a move, ended up losing the position.
I think Guillaume Mas needs to keep his head cool. A lot of his rivals, some of his rivals scored better in race 1, but will not score in race 2. So Guillaume could be one of the winners here at China.
Rainey, sorry, I think he was made a mistake because Denhan's got through, and now he's battling Mass at the hairpin. Bang wheels a bit there, and Mass still not able to make it through. He's got the overstrated now, trying twice, and Denhan's got through on both of them, but Mass still not able to. As Chris Gitsoff as well, I think, has made a mistake because Ernst Lappens is through. Just went wide at the hairpin, just not able to slow down enough, and Lappens loses his way through at the S's. So he said he was eyeing up to win. Now he's got himself the lead, and yeah, for his sake, you got to say he's probably looking to just pull away with the pace that we know he has.
Yeah, and. Look at Jack Denhan now in P4. Can he challenge for that podium? I think so. He looks really quick. Well, oh, no, P5, 6 and 7 are pretty close. It's Tom van der Voort who will have a double slipstream. Guillaume Mas is there and Adam Rainey is there. Who will be the smartest? Who will be the fastest? Who will be P5? Oh, we've got Guillaume Mas go for it.
Almost onto the grass there, but he's still there up the inside of Adam Rainey. Third time, will it be lucky?
Oh, and look at Tom van der Voort! Yes, Tom van der Voort,
yes.
He does it! He started happening and just broke a lot earlier, took another line, and he says, well, that's 1, that's 2, thank you.
Right then, Mass again, he's got to be really annoyed because he's made the move finally, but Darius Andre's made it through on him at the final corner there, with Mass just slightly running wide, over the curb. So Mass, he's gone for about 4 moves in the last 2 laps and has not improved his position, unfortunately for him. But Tom van der Voort up to P5, so great stuff from him after starting P15. We're saying that it was a bit unlucky that he didn't quite get the reverse good pole, but maybe he didn't even need it. I see Denhan, as well, going up the inside of Ruben Machete onto the podium. Machete loads the switchback out of it, better exit, but not quite enough. And Denhan does pull in front of him.
Great driving from those two. I believe this, if Jake Denhan will get into the podium, this will be his first podium at the Formula Challenge. So yeah, would be very good for him. But of course, Ruben Machete wants to do everything to steal that podium spot back. So Tom van der Voort now in P5, so he shows a lot of skill in this race. Darius up to 6. And both the Team Frelik cars are in P7 and P9, so that's still a lot of points for the team. So yeah, let's hope for them that they at least get those points in, because that will be very good for the team. But now Scott Mitchell in P10. Max Heus, after retiring from the first race, is now in P11, so a great drive from him. While he nearly loses it. Well, I said that. And Tom Parker passes him from P11, and also Caitlin Penny now moves into P12. A very good race from Caitlin Penny so far. Can she get the first points? And also
roof now, trying to make the move right now. So the Rainy brake a little bit too late, and it's allowed Fabian Roof alongside him, but not won't be enough. Going into the final corner, Roof will be looking switch back, and not quite able to do it. What's happening behind is Maxus has locked out a little bit. And Parker and Penny side by side.
Oh, Penny!
No, on the AstroTurf, just about keeping hold of that.
Lost it. Well, we've now got Mateusz Guzowski in P15 in the last point position, and we've got Kevin Morval now in P13. Can we see the first points of Team SRG? That will be something, because then all the teams got points.
There's a crash somewhere on the track. Sorry, I just heard.
It's Tommy Koivunen and Bruno Sousa Ferreira, and I believe they're both out. Tommy
Koivunen is carrying on. He's lost his front wing though, and he's gonna have to do an entire lap without front wing, which, yeah, I think he's decided it's not worth it. He's pulling over now down the straight. So we'll have to maybe wait and see what happened with that. Yep, got the replay now coming up, and they've already had the incident. Yeah, we just see, was that Sousa Ferreira maybe just losing it
Yeah.
on his own? Oh no, it was actually a Valence car losing it after a few cars running wide there. Kai Sonneveld lost it, hits Sousa Ferreira, which unfortunately catches out Tommy Koivunen, and that's very unfortunate to see. And Kai Sonneveld really, he started all of that, or started the chain reaction, manages to carry on.
Yes, so I believe we now see Jake Dennehan in P3 catching Chris Gitzoff for P2. So can Jake Dennehan go to P2? He still has got time to do it, and he looks to be the faster one. While Ruven Machede now in 4th position, he can't follow the top 3. While I would say Ernst Lapint is still in in a league of his own. Just drove away.
Sorry, just losing the position. Tom Parker, and it's very close here for P11. Really, with a lot of the people that have not quite able to get points so far. Obviously, Mattis on his first race though. Yeah.
Well, we've got a few people retiring. We had Diogo Moscato, Adrian Faber, Guillaume Branton, Gerard van der Weijden, Don Halsal, Isaac Morris, Bruno Sousa Ferreira, and Tommy Koivunen all retire from the race. So yeah, that's quite a lot.
Sorry, Fabian Roof gets a great exit out of turn 2, around the outside of Adam Rainey, going into the hairpin to turn 4. Gonna have to stick it around the outside. Can he keep hold of that? No, too much water out there on the exit, and still not able to make the move there on Adam Rainey. As I noticed, by the way, that Isaac Morris obviously did decide to retire after clearly decided himself that he wasn't going to score points. But I noticed he went for a glory run. He went and got the fastest lap, was deciding to retire. Maybe just trying to prove the pace that we know he did have before the unfortunate incident that eventually led to him retiring from the race. So that is unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate for him. But he scored a lot of points in race 1, so I think that's still a very big positive from him there. And he was just unlucky. While I now see Jake Dennehan still in P3, but going for the overtake on Chris Gitzoff. He's got more straight line speed. Can he do it? He now passed, but can he brake later and take the position? Yes, he can. So it's now the TCS off car in 2nd position. So will this be his first podium and not only P3? No. Points for P2 would be very good for him. And I guess Chris Gitzoff wants to do everything to get that final podium position. While Ruven Machede and Tom van der Voort fighting it out for P4. And Ruven is still ahead, but now there comes Tom van der Voort. He had a bad qualifying and started at the back. But now he is in P4, tries to steer in. Does he make it?
So yeah, we'll just keep watching there as Van der Voort tries to hang around the outside, not quite able to. I'm just Andre Amas as well, making a bit of contact to turn 1. While also Fabian Roof and Rainey side by side as well through turn 1. Everything kicking off now, just a few laps to go. And Roof still not quite able to make it past Rainey. Again going for a better exit, but not quite able to do it. And Tom van der Voort there sends it around the outside of Ruben Machede. Again, not much grip out there.
Yeah, but his exit will be better.
Yeah, and he'll have the inside line for this left-hander, which will be difficult for Machede to hold on, and he decides to back out.
He drives really smart.
Quite smartly from there, yeah. As we see there, we'll hear some contact maybe further down. Just have to wait and see what that
Darius! Oh, Darius just nearly slid into Ruven Machede.
I've just noticed as well, so Jack Nichols.
Oh, Ruven!
Oh. Yeah, we'll have a look at that instead. Very close stuff from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I was about to say, Jack Nichols, after starting P32, is up into P16. He's got quite a big gap in front of him to Mateusz Kozłowski for that first point. But if he can get it, obviously that'd be a big help for Kings Racing after a not quite so strong round for them so far. But in the points though, we've still got Kevin Morville for Sim Racing Guys and Caitlin Penny for Nova Finlandia for their first point so far. And then we see Fabian Roof there again trying it on Adam Rainey down the straight. Brakes much later this time. But again, he's on the outside there at the hairpin. And just doesn't have the grip there. And see, it was Darius Andre off the track at the final corner. slipping about on there, but just about holds on to it, and that's allowed Riva Machete through.
And he makes it into P6 again. Oh, this is a really fun race. But yeah, at the lead is Angela Pins. He will make a big impression if he can, can score this win. And if he does the rest of the season, this is a guy you want to take note of. So really good job from him. But also Jake Danahan, really impressive. And Chris Gitsoff also does a excellent job at the moment. But can Tom van der Voort, can he still catch Chris Gitsoff? That will be an interesting thing.
Yeah, we see Fabian Ruth there trying it again around the outside. This time he's trying to switch back, but maybe he turns in a little bit too much. So not able to get the exit there. I noticed as well, so Darius Andre made the move on Machete at turn 2. It was after quite a few nudges onto the back of Machete to maybe force him wide, but made the position at the moment. Just running wide himself there through the S's. Darius still not looking too comfortable here.
Oh, we've got a spinner. We've got Mike Quinn spinning in P17. He tried to get the final point, and I think he will retire now. Yes, he retires. He tries to get P16 with an option to get P15, but he tried too hard. And
just noticed as well, at the same time, Macho Standak going through turn 2, I think just decided to, he had enough himself.
Oh, bad round for Maciej Sandak. Well, I see a problem for Fabian Ruth, and there's Scott Mitchell. Scott Mitchell was in P10 for a lot of time now. He's in P9 and will go for P8. Can he make the move stick, which Fabian Ruth couldn't do? He's going for it.
Sorry, at the hairpin, you've got Darius Andre there, just hit the back of Machete again after Machete trying to make the move back. They've both slid off onto the runoff area. Machete's still alongside Darius Andre though, after getting a little bit punted there. Andre does let him back through though. As you're behind, Fabian Ruth, he's been trying to make the move on Adam Rainey his entire race, not able to do it, and now he's lost out to Scott Mitchell going for him. But Darius Andre trying it around the outside of turn 1, not able to do that. And probably not quite close enough for turn 2 here. And Fabian Ruth just about held on for his P9. And this has allowed Tom Parker to close up massively on them as well.
See, the final position in the points now is for Mateusz Guzowski. With Jack Nichols. I think he will not score points in race 2, Josh. That would be a big story. If he,
exactly, yeah. You see here at the hairpin, Darius Andre just running into the back of Machete. I mean, you'll see he hasn't taken the position from that. So, I've got to say, in the eyes of the DC, if it were to be reported, then not taking the advantage from that. But then Fabian Ruth there, trying it again on Adam Rainey. Needs to be careful. The guys behind him, as Scott Mitchell has a little look there. Probably not a corner where you'd expect that. I mean, he doesn't make anything happen there. Now Fabian Ruth very close to Adam Rainey again, but he's going to have to try something different here, because every time he's tried it around the outside at the hairpin down here, and just not able to make it stick. So he either needs to be a lot more ahead, or just try something different. And again, if he messes up slightly, there's a big train all the way back to P14 behind him. Yeah. Be more than happy to take his position.
And we've got...
Sorry, it's got to be forced around the outside, and it's not far alongside, but he breaks very late there. Drifts it around the hairpin, and again, not able to make the move.
Adam Rainey makes a lot of name from himself because he is doing an excellent job. But who's also doing an excellent job is Tom van der Voort. Tom van der Voort can see Chris Gitsoff there. And, well, only 2 laps to go. Can Tom van der Voort, can he get that podium? That would be something. But also, if you're a Valle fan or a Chris Gitsoff fan, you want to have that final podium position. Oh, and we've got a leg incident. It's Tom van der Voort. What happened there? Hey, Chris Gitsoff. Josh, what happens there? No. Hey, Chris Gitsoff lost his front wing. No, and he's out. No.
Yeah, he was. That's quite a weird one that Tom van der Voort managed to. Oh no. It was Chris Gitsoff lagging backwards into Tom van der Voort, unfortunately. Ended up out the race. That is so unfortunate to see.
No.
You were just talking about that.
Oh, what
That is
drama! Oh
so
no, Chris Gitzoff,
unfortunate.
no! He was so close on, well, at least a P4 or even a podium, and then this happens. Yeah, this is like a mechanical failure, but this, yeah,
Ooh, just seen as well. Sorry, in front. Is that Justin Van der
yeah,
Smissen being lapped there, spinning around in front of Guillaume Mass and off the track, and that's allowed Tom van der Voort through onto the podium.
yeah.
So after that incident,
Oh,
with
but
Chris Gitzoff, he
he's
still made it onto the podium.
yeah. Tom has a big problem. I think he's got loads of damage because Guillaume Mas is really close now. Can he then steal that away and can he get a double podium? Well, I believe he's got one more lap after this.
Now Van der Smissen as well in front of back behind Iranian roof. Yeah, we're just gonna see Guillaume Mass here making the move on Tom van der Voort, and yeah, I think Tom van der Voort, let's say, probably does have a lot of damage there.
Yeah.
Not really defending that one. Fabian Roof again. It's gonna be having to look around the outside. Oh, and he gets a hit from Van der Smissen. That was the lapped car hits the back of Fabian Roof. So that's got Mitchell through, and you've got to say that's not been a very good lap for Van der Smissen here, while being a lap down on every one of these, and causing 2 incidents of that. It's not what we want to see. But yeah, that is allowed Scott Mitchell into P8, and now maybe he'll have a chance to make the move on Madden Rainey that Fabian Roof has not been able to do for the entire race. And as well, speaking of that, Darius Andre is still behind Ruva Machedi, not able to make a move that sticks on him. And you've got to say though, obviously we're talking about Fabian Roof trying the moves, but you've got to say it's been a great job for Madden Rainey in his first round in Formula Challenge to be able to defend for this the entire race. He just, putting his car exactly where he needs to not have Scott Mitchell through there as well. So great stuff. As I see, was that Tom van der Voort? Oh, yeah, Tom van der Voort just messing up. Maybe the damage not helping him, but see, again, he doesn't make the move from there, so that'll probably be deemed just about okay.
Well, we're nearly at the finish line, and it will be Ernst Lapins who wins the second race. At least he's nearly there, if he doesn't make a big mistake. Oh, he's drifting into the last corner. He is nearly there, and this will be a win for Aspineo for Polonia. And yeah, that will make him a guy to remember. And there he is. He finishes in first position. It's Ernst Lapins. Well done, lads. With Jake Dennehan in his first podium at the career ladder. And look how far they are away from the rest, because Guillaume Mas is now in P3. He will get a double podium just. It's really impressive of Guillaume Mas.
Yeah,
well done.
Sorry, just spinning off at the back there. But yeah, like you say, podium for Guillaume Mas, just holding on to Tom van der Voort.
The finish, Rainey in 7th, Rudd in 8th, and Scott Mitchell in 9th. So really,
and Kevin
really
Morville
good.
as well. P10
Kevin Morville in P10.
For the first point.
SRG got 6 points in the back. Yes.
Yeah, Caitlin Penny as well. P12 for Nova Finlandia.
Caitlin Penny also
a bad
point.
round or a bad race for Isaac Morris, but Penny with her first points in the career ladder. Access as well,
points.
13th on his first round. Kozlowski 14th, and Jack Nichols does make it up to P15 after starting P32. A very good race from him. See, quite the points that they would have
still
wanted.
Have got a big fight for P17. Is Dylan Platt against Ben Willis. They're trying a lot to finish, and there Dylan Platt goes in, takes P17. Oh, and Ben Willis spins and finishes in P19 instead of P18. Michael Tomala goes in P18. So that was race 2, Josh. What a race and drama. Oh, Chris Gitzoff. Oh.
Yeah, there was a lot of drama. This was on the final lap, I believe, with Maxus just trying to defend Adam Rainey. Fantastic job to hold off the entire time, but yeah, Maxus just heading up off track there. Unfortunate for him, could have got a few more points, but I'm sure he'll be happy to get any points on his first round. So yeah, that was a bit of a mad race. as I see Mike Bell there in P20, just finishing off, the people that finished.
Yeah. So yeah.
A lot happening, but a lot of good battling, and a lot of good debuts, a lot of good first points, and everything that we like to see.
So the standings again.
Yeah, as you said, that is Ernst Lappin taking the win there on his first race, Formula Challenge of 2021. That is Dennehan P2, Guillermo Mas P3, Tom van der Voort 4. I think Mas there is going to treat us to some donuts. That's what we'd like to see. Darius Andre P5, so good round, strong round for TCS off. Ruven Machado, great round for the GPVWC Academy team. Adam Rainey P7, Fabian Roof P8, Scott Mitchell P9, sorry, and Kevin Morville, like we said, first point for sim racing guys in P10. Then we've got Tom Parker P11, Caitlin Penny P12, Max Huss P13, Teos Gazowski P14, and Jack Nichols with a very strong drive there in race 2 to round out the point.
Yeah.
But I think someone we should speak to is the winner of race 1 and someone who got caught up in an unfortunate incident at race 2 when he was probably also going to look very strong. Isaac Morris. What can you take from that round? Obviously, like say, the win in race 1, which would have been very good, but race 2, obviously not quite as good as you would have hoped for.
Yeah, mate, race 2, what a joke. Honestly, how do you self-spin on the straight? That's all I have to ask. But anyway, let's leave race 2. Race 1 was pretty damn good. Got a really good start and just chucked it up the inside of Mike Quint, and then pretty much the rest was history. So, but yeah, race 1 was perfect in my opinion. Didn't make any mistakes. So yeah, really happy about race 1. So yeah, that's pretty much it really. There's not really much to talk about race 2. Made it like 80% of the laps, and then just saw a valet car flying at my halo, and that was it. So there's not really much I could do. Tried to pit, and then the car was an absolute handful. They said that the damages were repaired, but it wasn't. So it was just really difficult, and I tried to carry on, but I just couldn't handle it. It was just absolutely eating my tires, so just thought it'd be best to retire.
Yeah, and going into this round, were you expecting this sort of pace, especially when we got here, and obviously it's been raining since the official practice session? Were you expecting to do well in those conditions, or was it just sort of seeing how you can go in them, just driving to the best of the conditions?
I didn't know what the full potential of the setup was, because when I was doing when I was building the setup in the week, I was doing it on like 100% rain, so like the track was like all over the place, and the overall pace was really bad. So when I came into the race, I was like looking at the times I was doing in the practice in the week, and I was just like, I would just be happy if I get top 10 in race 1. But then, managed to come out with a win, fastest lap. So I'm really happy with that.
Yep, that's good to hear. I think as well. So after race 1, I believe you worked out that you did in fact take over the lead of the standings. Obviously, with race 2 not going so well for you and Darius Andre finishing P5, that might not be the case. But either way, you've after a unfortunate round 1 in Australia, you've already jumped up to the top of the standings. And where do you think you could go for the rest of the season? Do you think you can hold on to this and have a good battle with Darius and the rest for the lead here?
Well, I mean, the grid has a lot of talented drivers, and you should never take away anything from any of the drivers. Because I could easily say like anyone in the top 10 right now could be the champion at the end of the year. Everyone that's in the top 10 in qualifying each week are always fighting it out, and there's always going to be people coming in later in the season and people leaving. So it's really difficult to say right now where I could see myself coming into the last 2 rounds. But I would like to consider myself as a possible contender for the championship. But with the likes of Ernest, Jake, Darius, there's a bunch of guys that could easily just catch up after a couple of races and run away with it. So it's just all about being the best you can on race day and just hope for the best.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Well, thank you very much for that, and good luck for the next round, which is actually at India, which is first time India will be on Formula Challenge calendar. So obviously we came back to China for this round after a few years out, and now we're going to India, a new round, 2 weeks. So Menno, do you expect really as crazy a round as we saw here today? Obviously with it being difficult conditions and a relatively new track to most of the drivers.
Yeah, I think in 2 weeks India will be interesting. A lot of long straights, but also a very technical third sector. And it's a track which a lot of people don't know. So that will be, I think, a lot of ingredients for a really nice show again. Actually, I believe that Darius Andre now took the championship lead with 77 points, if I'm not mistaken. So he retook the championship lead. But of course, Darius and also as Lapins had an incident with Scott Mitchell. So yeah, we will see what will happen there. If maybe Ernest or Darius gets a penalty out of it, yeah, we will hear that later. But yeah, for now, it's a really good, interesting championship, and looking forward to round 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can't wait for that. But until then, this has been round 3 at China. Very interesting, difficult round for the drivers. But I've been Josh with Menno, Klont, and Szymon Frelik on cameras, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Bye bye.